Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Miami Sports Report. On today's show, we speed things up, address the Wells Miami Dolphins report, Olympic hockey hits the ice, the Heat head to the break, and have we gotten a peek at the Miami soccer kids? Let's go! First things first, I've noticed that the show is getting a little bit draggy. I know that 15 to 20 minutes is a lot to ask for an internet video, even a weekly one, so I'm going to try to punch things up. The thing is, I still want to inform you guys and I don't want to leave out many details, so we're just going to have to see how this works. Maybe if I talk really fast I can still fit in a lot of details and still shave minutes off the video. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Okay, thanks. NFL investigator Ted Wells has released his report on the Miami Dolphins bullying scandal. Wells' report says that Richie Incognito, along with fellow offensive linemen Mike Pouncey and John Jerry, engaged in a pattern of harassing behavior of not only Jonathan Martin, but also another young unnamed offensive lineman, as well as a team trainer. The report said that Pouncey and Jerry were following Incognito's lead. Offensive line coach Jim Turner was said to be aware of the behavior and even to have participated on one occasion. Head coach Joe Philbin was said not to have been aware of any of this behavior. Professional recap aside, this doesn't really change anything. The report said mostly what we already knew, but did not mention the released text messages that showed Martin participating in much of the same behavior. It also doesn't change much in the Dolphins' plans. Incognito is a free agent and will likely not be re-signed. Martin has shattered locker room trust and will need to be traded. Coach Turner will likely be fired. His oversight of this behavior perhaps not as important as the complete failure of his Shawnee 2014 LVP award-winning offensive line. Pouncey and Jerry will likely be fined, possibly suspended a game or two for their participation, and then maybe we can all finally move on. Well, since it's a new addition to the show, let's jump to Olympic hockey next, since the Panthers are on break for just that. We'll start with an update on our Panthers players in Sochi. Alexander Sasha Barkov recorded an assist in Finland's 8-4 win over Austria, and Tomas Kopecky didn't record any stats as Slovakia lost 7-1 to the United States. Well, talk about spoiling the lead. Men's hockey got underway on Thursday, and as I just said, Team USA took down Slovakia 7-1 on the strength of 6 goals in the second period. Colorado Avalanche center Paul Stastny, interestingly enough of Slovakian descent, was the star, scoring 2 goals. The Toronto Maple Leafs' Phil Kessel led the team in points with a goal and 2 assists, while the Vancouver Canucks' Ryan Kessler and the Washington Capitals' John Carlson each had a goal and an assist. A much bigger challenge stood in front of the Red, White, and Blue for their second game as they faced off with the host, Russia, early Saturday morning our time. In a really great game that got the attention of most of the nation, the United States beat the host nation 3-2 in the shootout. Blues right winger TJ Oshie was the star, dominating the shootout by scoring 4 goals. International rules allow anyone to shoot however many times after round 3, including the game winner. As this video was being uploaded, the US men were taking on Slovenia in their final round-robin match. As such, we obviously don't have stats for it, and because of that, we're not sure who the US is going to play in their next game. If that information becomes available during editing, I will provide a graphic with it here. Otherwise, we'll simply move on to women's hockey. The American women hit the ice last Saturday. Let's take a look at their games. The first game was on Saturday against Finland, and the Americans won 3-1. Hillary Knight scored just 53 seconds into the game, and Kelly Stack and Alex Carpenter added goals in the second. Then on Monday, the Lady Eagles, not that they call them that, took on Switzerland. The Americans left no doubt to the outcome when they scored 3 goals in 55 seconds in the first period. Monique Lamoureux, Brianna Decker, and Amanda Kessel. Hillary Knight added a 4th goal, and Kessel scored again to give the Americans a 5-0 lead in the first. Lamoureux scored again in the second, and Kendall Coyne opened the third with 2 goals in just over 3 minutes, before Alex Carpenter slammed home the final one. A dominant victory for Team RWB, 9-0. On Wednesday came the anticipated gold medal matchup as Team USA faced off with Canada. Hillary Knight scored in the second to give the U.S. a 1-0 lead. But Canada opened the third with 3 straight goals, and while Ann Schlepper scored with the extra attacker, they couldn't find the equalizer and fell 3-2. With the round robin over, the U.S. women have qualified to go directly to the semifinals. But with quarterfinals and qualifiers to go, it's unclear whom they're going to play just yet. However, we can say that their semifinal match will be on February 17th. Alright, let's get off the ice and crank up the heat. 2 games for Miami this week as they charge towards the All-Star break. Let's take a look. The Heat started this week of games Tuesday night in Phoenix, taking on the Suns as their Western trip continues. LeBron was coming off a terribly human game against Utah, so he decided to dominate and show everyone he was okay with 37 points. Chris Bosh scored 21. Heat win 103-97. The next night, the Heat headed to San Francisco, taking on Golden State. Chris Bosh scored 19 points, and Michael Beasley scored 16 off the bench. What about LeBron James? Oh, he scored 36, 3 of which just happened to be this dagger three-pointer with 0.1 seconds remaining, giving the Heat a 111-110 victory. 2 more wins this week give the Heat a sweet 37-14 record heading to the All-Star break. LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade have all been named starters to the East squad for this year's All-Star game, though it's unclear if Wade will play after missing Wednesday's game with foot drop, a nerve condition in his left foot. Let's take a look at this week's games. As I mentioned, James, Bosh, and maybe Wade will be facing off against the West in the NBA All-Star game Sunday night in New Orleans. Then the Heat begin the second half of the season with games in Dallas on the 18th and wrapping up the Western Swing in Oklahoma City on the 20th. And now for the Miami Soccer Report. A very interesting report was recently published by the Palm Beach Post. Reporter Matt Porter wrote that a source involved with the Beckham Group presented him with possible team names and looks for Beckham's likely upcoming Miami MLS team. These were apparently presented to Miami-Dade politicians at a recent meeting. The current leader, seeing as it has the most media attached to it, is Miami Vice. This, of course, references the 80s TV show, but also the sort of dark, underground, exciting crime field the city is known for, as well as putting teams in a vice grip. A logo was presented with it, with the letters M and V vertically creating a crest, with an upward flying soccer ball flying through it. The colors are dark gray, aqua, and light pink. There was also something of a presentation flyer with the logo, the tagline, "Welcome Home Soccer," and a player wearing a possible kit. Yes, we have a possible kit reveal already. The kit sports a player wearing an aqua jersey with dark gray or black shorts that have pink diagonal stripes on one leg. To be honest, it's a good-looking kit, one that I could see being the final design and can see on the field for sure. I'm glad that the pink is a light salmon shade and definitely seems to be a secondary color. The report says the group pitched 2 other names without team logos or kits. The first was Miami Current, which to be honest doesn't really grab me. The other was a sponsor-connected name which was not specified. This could be something like Miami Flamingos in connection with the Florida Lottery, or something even more direct like the Miami Bright Stars. We're still awaiting word on selection of the stadium site as well as the official announcement of the team, so stay tuned. That is going to do it for another edition of the Miami Sports Report. Thank you so much for watching. Please help the show grow by liking the video by clicking that like button right down below, leaving us a comment, share, subscribe to the channel, and also look for us on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for Bumbles and Fumbles, and until next time, go Miami and Team USA! On today's show, stuff about sports is going to happen and we're going to talk about it. Alexander... If that information comes available during edit... It's unclear whom they're going to... LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade were all named starters to the East squad on this year's All-Star game. Although it's unclear if Wade will play after missing Wednesday's game... Reporter Matt Porter wrote that a source involved with the Beckham Group presented him with leaks of possible team names and looks used to ham out the burger. presented him with leaks of possible team names and looks for the upcoming Beckham Team Miami MLS. Presented him with leaks of team names and looks that will likely be that. These team looks and logos were Reporter Matt Porter wrote that a source involved with the Beckham Group presented him with team names and possible team names and looks, team looks and possible names, and a ham. A very interesting report was a very interesting